laugh too hard. I'll try and do this video so that a lot of you guys know what to pack. I know a lot of you guys have never done anything like this, so I'll do my best. Anyway, okay, cover and shelter. There's the 5 C's of survivability. Cover, combustion, containers, cordage, and what was the last one? Cutting? Did I say cutting?
Yeah, no, you didn't say cutting.
Okay, anyway, so you gotta cover those and then a few others. Yeah, that's a cutting tool. Anyway, okay, so the first one would be a tent or some kind of shelter. We got this. This is a 3-man tent. 3-man tent is usually good for 2 people. I should have enough tents for everybody. But anyway, that's an example of a 3-man tent. Just use some tieback as a footprint for the tent. Super cheap and super light, and does the same job as a $500 tarp from somewhere else, REI or something like that. Anyway, next piece of cover, some kind of tarp. So if we get good weather, then it's not a problem, but a lot of times you're sitting around and it's raining its ass off for the entire evening, and you still want to sit by the fire and chill and enjoy. So a tarp, this is kind of like it's a 3 meter by 3 meter tarp. You don't have to have this. You can just buy like a blue tarp from Walmart or the dollar store or whatever. Like this guy here. This piece of crap here still does the job. It's a lot cheaper. But anyway, you can set up a tarp sort of behind you where you're sitting, and so you can still sit around the fire and not be soaked or just covered in rain gear and just be having a miserable time stuck inside your tent. So a tarp, that's like another 1 to 2 ratio. So a tent, 1 tent is good for 2 people, depending on the size of the tent, but 1 tent is usually good for 2 people. 1 tarp is usually good for 2 people. Everybody needs a sleeping bag or some kind of warm blanket. So here's an example of a sleeping bag. Those of you who don't know what a sleeping bag is. So, I don't know, some of you guys are kind of scaring me a bit, the questions you've been asking, so hey, anyway, sleeping bag. So, I feel like unraveling the whole thing, but curl up in it, stay warm at night. You can also just have a warm blanket if you have like a wool blanket or something like that. That works too. I'm actually going to opt for the wool blanket this time around, because I find a lot of sleeping bags, my sleeping bags are bulky, and I want it. I mean, the wool blanket is kind of bulky too, but I'm just going to try it out. So I just have a wool blanket. Just going to wrap myself in this at night, and that's good. What else is good for cover, Nate?
Rain gear.
Rain gear. Rain gear is essential. So a cheap option is you just go to the dollar store and just buy like a crappy rain poncho like you'd see at a sports, some kind of people in sporting events and stuff like that. This is like a $5 option you might see at Walmart or something. It's made of
But that's more expensive one.
Yeah, it's more than the dollar store, but it's still like, I think you spend $5 or $10 at a Bass Pro or something on this. It looks like, it feels kind of like this paper type material, but it's totally waterproof. This is good, just goes over your head, covers your arms and legs when you're sitting in the canoe, if you're sitting in a chair or sitting on a log, covers you pretty much head to toe, and allows you to move around. Not the safest thing when you're canoeing, because if you roll the canoe and you're in a poncho, it's kind of hard to swim out of it, but if you're wearing a life jacket, it's probably not going to be a problem.
Jay's one.
Who cares? All right, so rain gear.
Traveling clothes.
Another option for rain gear,
Oh, never mind.
not just a poncho, if you have a rain jacket and rain pants. That's a better option, but it can get hot if it's a hot day and it's raining. Anyway, what did I say, traveling clothes?
Traveling clothes and...
Oh yeah, so your clothing during the
clothes.
day, I mean, people tend to overpack their clothing, so a little tip about traveling during the day is just wear swim shorts and some quick dry kind of t-shirt, not cotton, like something you might wear to jiu-jitsu, like a short sleeve, quick dry polyester kind of deal, stretchy fabric, something like this, your typical Under Armour type t-shirt or something like that, and some swim shorts. And that could be your like just chilling, paddling through the day, stay cool, and It dries fast. Swim shorts, shirt. You don't have to wear underwear and get your underwear all raunch. At night, you can switch over to throw some clean underwear on, keep it in your bag, keep it in like plastic. Wrap all your clothes in plastic. It rains, it gets wet, it gets moist. It's miserable putting on wet clothes. So at night, I'm gonna wear like a long sleeve kind of thermal top, and I have rain pants. I'm just gonna double those as my camp pants, and some dry socks. Preferably wool socks. If you have like merino wool socks, you can buy them at Bass Pro or Sale or whatever. Cotton is not as good, but if that's all you got, it's fine. So a pair of socks when you're at camp, nothing beats having wet feet all day, miserable wet feet all day, and then you switching it to dry socks when you make camp and you're just gonna chill for the rest of the night. Best feeling in the world.
What is this? Yeah.
It is. What's next?
Container and cooking.
Containers. Water bottles. If you have like Nalgene water bottles, like those 1 liter water bottles, those are perfect. You just do something like this too. Just fill it up in the lake and drop some purification tablets in it.
You don't need more than 1 container.
Yeah, 1 container per person. Don't bring multiple containers. It's a waste of time. These are the aqua tabs I was talking to you guys about. One tiny little tab. There's a tab there in the corner there. This tiny little tab is good for a whole liter of water. Drop it in there, you wait 10 minutes or something, shake it up, wait another 10 minutes. Purified water. Totally safe to drink, even if it's got all kinds of nasty shit in it. Like, you could drink it from a puddle here in the city and it would clean it up. And the lake water up there is clean. Like, you're not gonna have to worry about it. Like,
you still have to put the thing in.
You still should purify it because there's a chance like animals are there and beavers are pissing and shitting in the water, so it's better to purify your water. I'm gonna bring in a water filter too. I just ordered a new one. I haven't received it yet, or else I'd be showing you guys, but it's a good water filter. You don't even need to use the tap. It's super fast. Filters 4 liters of water in 4 minutes. Dry bags. You guys, I have like dry bags that have like these roll top dry bags for your clothes and stuff like that. You guys can just use plastic, like garbage bags and stuff work. Just throw them in like preferably better than this. This is just a regular kitchen or whatever, your typical black garbage bag. But if you find those heavy duty, like thick plastic drum liners, those are perfect. Because you're probably gonna be rubbing it against stuff. It's gonna be moving around your bag. Less chance of ripping and stuff.
Food.
More containers? Am I still on containers?
I got it. Cooking pot and frying pans.
Cooking pots and frying pans. So a cook kit will do, like 1 cook kit will be good for 2 people. So here's something I keep as a cook kit. So this thing here holds 1 liter. You put it on the fire. This is actually a stove. You put on this little stove, boil water, rehydrate those Mountain House meals if you bought those. I'll probably make another video on food, or maybe just send you guys a list. So this attaches to a fuel canister, and there's your stove. I'll bring a couple of little stoves like this. I have a couple, and that should be enough for the whole group. You can mostly just cook over the fire. Put this over the flame, sit right on the coals, whatever, it boils water in a heartbeat. And it's cheap, you don't have to bring fuel or anything. It's lightweight. This is my mug, and a little scrub pad to wash the dishes and crap after. Fork and spoon. Bring a fork and a spoon. Certain little things you take for granted, you don't think about having to pack them, but when you're out there, if you don't have them, you're like, oh shit, I gotta eat with my hands now. So, cooking pots. Some kind of cup to drink with. That was mine. This is Damien's. Preferably metal, because then you can actually use it for boiling water too. If you have a metal cup. If you don't have a metal cup, it's fine. Whatever, like a travel mug or something works, but you're probably gonna want to drink coffee or tea or hot chocolate or whatever, or your booze of choice, something to drink out of.
Large backpack.
Huh?
You need a large backpack.
Oh, okay.
You're not done that, sorry.
I'm bringing this. I don't know if I haven't decided if I'm going to bring this or not. It's just a little grill, cook over the fire with
But
it.
there's usually grills on the
There's
camp.
usually grills there, so I might not bring it just to save on weight. But that's something you can buy. I think I bought that at the dollar store.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
It's just a map. Algonquin Park. Forgot to put this back. Damo's fork and spoon. This is actually a collapsible plate / bowl. Pops open like that.
I've never seen that.
Make
You
your
don't really
cereal or
You don't really
whatever
come from
rehydrated
camping.
food in there. You can use it as a little cutting board too. They make bigger ones. Actually, I might get a bigger
Man, my
one.
finger keeps on getting in the way.
It's okay.
There we go.
Don't worry, it's not a professional video.
I know,
Just
but
to
they're gonna
help
make
people
fun of
out.
me. I know they're gonna make fun of me if I keep
I know,
on
they're
doing
gonna
it.
make fun of me too. I don't care. Another Algonquin map. Notebook and a pen. You know, actually, I don't use this enough when I go out there, but it's really good to use. Sometimes you'll see a campsite or something that's awesome. You'll find a campsite that's amazing, or a little area like a little waterfall or something like that, and then you'll go back 2 years later and you won't remember where the hell it was. I have so many places I've been to in Algonquin that are just awesome that I cannot remember where they are. If I had written them down, I'd be able to go back to them. Now I don't remember. I'd have to search the whole friggin' park again. I'm bringing some of this Venture tape. It's good for tears in the tent. It'll actually, even if you get a little hole in your canoe that starts leaking, patch that up. It'll,
Duct tape helps too.
Flex
yeah,
tape.
that's kind of like duct tape. I got duct tape too. Little duct tape. Some more rain gear.
You didn't cover large backpacks and heavy-duty garbage bags.
Okay, hold on. I got one of these Sea Line roll top dry bags. I'll probably be putting some food in here. It's probably usually where I keep my food. Fill this full of our food for a couple of days, roll it up, and then you can sling it over a high tree branch, hoist it up into the tree, and it stays waterproof, stays away from the bears, away from the raccoons, away from the mice, and you don't have to worry about your food getting wet or getting taken by animals. A little pack towel, just for like drying your hands or drying your body if you feel like taking a swim. Something like this is enough. Just think about the amount of space it's going to take in your pack. It all adds up so fast. It's amazing.
I think you could get one of those at the dollar store.
I think you can get these at the dollar store Canadian Tire. I think I bought this one at Canadian Tire. And it dries super fast, like a chamois you would wash a car with or something. It's just
Bass Pro would
just
have it
strain
too.
it out and it dries. It's almost completely dry when you strain it out. I'm bringing this. It's kind of a cheesy little inflatable pillow. You don't have
What?
to. Huh?
You got one of those?
Yeah, you want it?
No, it's fine.
Um,
You don't
buy
need
these off
that.
Amazon. I bought this one. This one's kind of crappy. You can get them on Amazon or Walmart or Canadian Tire or whatever. Usually Canadian Tire has better stuff than Walmart.
But what you
But
could
you
usually
don't have to
do.
bring a pillow. I usually just, well, Damien, I think was about to say it.
Yeah, you could just stuff it in your sleeping bag
Yeah,
and
so
cover.
the sack that your sleeping bag goes into, what I've always done in the past, I just stuff a few shirts or sweaters in there or whatever, and that's your pillow.
It's not that
So,
bad.
It's actually not bad. But if you're gonna bring a big pillow, forget it. Don't bring a pillow. Bring an inflatable one, or just use the backpack method, or the sweater. Stuff a shirt inside a sweater, or something like that.
What?
Big, large backpack. I mean, so this is actually a pretty good pack. It's not the best for canoeing. It's good for hiking and backpacking and stuff. But it's got lots of compartments. It's pretty big. I think this one's an 75 liter pack. 85 liter actually. So I think it's 75 here to here, and then holds another 10 liters in the top. That will fill up fast. Don't believe how fast it fills up. It's got this hip strap here to take most of the weight off your shoulders. When you're carrying a canoe and you're carrying that weight, I know a kilometer doesn't sound like much. Walking in the city, a kilometer is nothing, but when you have a lot of weight on your shoulders,
Going
it
up
starts
and
to
down
burn
hills
in your
with
shoulders,
doors.
starts to hurt your back and everything. If you can distribute most of that weight to your hips, you have like this hip strap here. You keep it really tight on your hips, less of it's on your shoulders. It just helps a lot. So you guys want to pick up a pack, doesn't have to be this big. I have a smaller one I can lend to you guys. I think it's something like 65.
It was
liter or
my
something.
old bag.
Yeah, it was Damien's old bag. Now it's Aiden's bag.
Yeah, the green
So I
one.
can
It
lend
doesn't
it.
come.
Yeah, I can lend it to one of you guys.
You don't need that barrel bag back there.
That barrel bag, that's mine. That's pretty big. That's what I'm going to be carrying. I got that a few years ago. I just drop everything in here. It's solid, waterproof.
You could
I
float.
Yeah, float. I could roll the canoe and it's just going to float. Yeah, I don't have to worry about anything in this thing. I can even put like, usually apples and stuff like that, they just get bruised and beat up. If I just throw apples on the top part of that barrel, they don't get beat up or anything.
They last longer.
Yeah, exactly. You can even bring bananas and shit. Some work gloves. You don't have to bring work gloves, but they're good to have when you're like collecting firewood and you're trying to snap wood and stuff like that.
Definitely
Hands
helps.
get jacked up. I mean, I have office hands, so soft office hands. So I use these just little crappy gardening gloves. You can get them at the dollar store too.
Lighting.
Oh, illumination. So you're gonna want to walk around after the sun goes down, and I just opt for these headlamps. These are, I think you buy them for like $10 at Canadian Tire. These little Energizer headlamps.
You won't really find them. You won't find them at dollar store. Don't.
Well, you
even-
can get the dollar store ones, but they
Canadian
suck.
Tire.
That's one thing I'll say. Is the dollar store ones suck.
I think it's at Canadian Tire.
They are.
So they have several
That's right.
settings, different levels of light, stuff like that. So headlamp. If you really want to go cheap, honestly, I've gone with just one of these. The ones
Those you could get at the dollar
they
store.
actually are surprisingly bright. Just fit in your pocket. If you don't want to get a headlamp, just keep one of these on. The only crappy thing about having a handheld flashlight is you can't use your other hand. So you'll be like this. So you have the headlamp, boom, you look around, you can use both hands. Anyway, but these, I think you can find these for like literally $1 for 2 of them or something like that. Just at the counter where you're paying for your crap at Dollarama. Boom.
Cutting.
Fire.
Oh wait,
We're
cordage.
Cordage? But I don't think I covered all the fire stuff yet. So we need something to start a fire. Just a big lighter. You don't have to get fancy. Just boom. Big lighter and yeah.
You could also have the flask.
What?
Not the flask.
Oh,
The striker.
And
the
you have
thing.
some,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah,
it
I have
called?
this fire steel. That's fun to use. Just because you want to feel like Mr. Outdoorsman. You start a fire with sparks. You feel slightly more accomplished.
Takes a long time.
And I just bring some tinder just to help start the fire a lot faster. It's just dryer lint.
And some of those wood
Yeah,
sticks.
they have these little fire starter, tiny little mini logs. Almost like those little quickie logs you buy that are covered in paper. You light the paper and the quickie log goes for 5 hours or whatever. These are like little miniature quickie logs. So I break up a couple of those and helps start a fire a lot faster even when it's like everything's wet. That helps start the fire. I'm gonna bring a hammock. I don't know if we'll end up using it, but I'm bringing it.
It'll be fun just to lie in,
Yeah, if we get good weather.
but it's a
nice to
hassle.
chill at night, or when you're just exhausted. Have a nap in the hammock. What am I on? Cordage?
Cordage. Yes.
Cordage. You're gonna need something to hang up.
Cordage and cutting.
Oh, I didn't say. Okay. You're gonna need something to hang up that tarp I was talking about earlier. So, some ropes or paracord. You can buy like 100 feet of paracord for $10 or $20 at Canadian Tire. I should have enough for the entire group.
Oh,
Like I got so much. I got tons in here.
We have a little too much.
I actually have, I probably have too much. So, don't buy any. Shouldn't need to buy any. Unless, I don't know. I guess it's not bad to have more. Cutting tool. So, this is what I'm bringing. It's a Mora. If you buy one of these, you'll spend $20 and you'll hand it down to your grandkids. It's an indestructible knife. But you can also just go with a crappy little folding Swiss Army knife. You're not going to need to survive with it. One of these you can beat it up and actually use it for chopping wood and batoning and stuff. But you don't need to do that. I have this little guy here, a little multi-tool, and it has a tiny little knife on it somewhere, and it would be enough.
We also have a couple other extra knives, so
We
if you
got
guys
tons
don't
of
have
knives.
any,
Yeah.
we could just lend you some.
Yeah, like something like this,
Switchblade. Oh.
like a little folding knife.
We never use that anymore.
I already said cutting tools.
Bear protection. Alligator protection.
Yeah, alligator protection. No. I have a couple of these. They're actually, I think they expired this year.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm gonna buy
yeah,
one new one just in case, but they're good to have. It's just bear spray. It's like a little mini fire extinguisher. They say it's up to 30 feet or something like that. 8 meters. 5 to 8 meter range.
Yeah, it shoots pretty
Anyway,
far
it's
for a
supposed
little
to-
thing.
Pull this guy off and blast the bear in the face if he's starting to get aggressive or too close or whatever.
I want you to spray it.
Let's go back in our eyes.
And, yeah,
I'm gonna go to the
so
bathroom.
I usually just keep one of these. I've never actually seen a bear in the wild. Never laid eyes on one, but never
Always
hurts to
just in
have it.
case.
I would just keep it here. So I have a couple of these. One for me, one for Damo. Oh yeah, a saw.
Bear bells too. Bear bells too.
Oh yeah.
Just pick up a.
I
You could.
hang little bells. You can buy these at Canadian Tire or Walmart. I have these little bells hanging from my backpack, and Dame's got one too. Your chances of getting attacked by a bear are usually higher if you sneak up on one. If they hear you coming, they're gonna go the other way. They're gonna lope off into a bush somewhere. But if you sneak up on one, you surprise one, then he might get scared and attack you. So this, when you're walking on a portage, this is constantly going bing, bing, bing. The bear's he's gonna take off before you get anywhere close to him. That's probably why I've never seen one. This is actually a saw, little buck saw.
I think we have another one too. We have one other one.
We have another saw I can lend. So the saw is also pretty much vital. Because firewood is vital. So saw and a backup blade. Anyway, this video's kind of getting a little long now. I feel it.
Yeah,
I think everybody's
22,
gonna get tune out.
22 minutes.
Anyway, 22 minutes already? Jesus. Sorry, guys. Anyway, saw for cutting wood, getting firewood and stuff. These are sleeping pads. I have some extra sleeping pads. I don't have the inflatable ones. I have some like foam sleeping pads. I got three in the back in the garage there. I can lend out. But you can buy this rolled up foam sleeping. Can you turn off the AC, Aiden? You know how to do it?
No.
I know how to. Here, Aiden, hold this.
It's okay.
Don't be shaky. Oh my God, your hand's legit in the way.
Anyway, this is an inflatable sleeping pad. You roll it out, it self-inflates, and then you just close the valve, and keeps you off the cold ground at night. And it keeps those rocks and sticks from digging into your shoulders and your hips. This actually presses down a lot further. I just left it open. So that's a sleeping pad. I got the foam ones. You can buy them at the dollar store or whatever. It's like even just like a yoga mat. Anything to keep you off the ground, because the ground is cold at night. It'll just suck all that heat out of you. These are actually chairs, so I'm not going to assemble it now because it's going to add another 10 minutes to the video. But me and Dave are bringing little chairs, and you guys can pick one up if you want. I think you can get them for 30 or 40 bucks at Sale or Bass Pro. They're not essential. You can just sit on the ground or sit against a log or something like that, or sitting around the fire. But I like to have a chair. I like back support. Bug spray. You're probably not going to need it when we're going, but it doesn't hurt to keep one around. It's not a lot of extra weight. Hand sanitizer. I bought these little tiny mini toothbrushes from the dollar store. Aiden, are you coming in or out? Come on. So little mini toothbrushes. You can even buy the travel ones that have the toothpaste already on them. And they're just disposable. Use it once, throw it out. We're only out there for a few days. I'm just brushing my teeth with water. Spit out, done. It's camping clean. There's two types of clean. There's city clean and camping clean. Camping clean is a slightly lower standard. And hand sanitizer, essential. Shit tickets. Lots of shit tickets. Bring a whole roll of toilet paper, some hand sanitizer, and some wet wipes. Bring a lot of toilet paper. Don't want to run out of toilet paper out there. That's just a scrub pad to scrub the dishes.
That's basically it. You don't need to go
Pretty
into
much.
detail.
I'm buying a little travel size body wash. You probably just could wash up in the lake and use some deodorant or something like that. I'm bringing that travel size body wash. I'm bringing a compass, but we're probably not going to need it. It's hard to get lost in there, believe it or not. Slingshot.
That's
just
mine.
For fun. This is just for shits and giggles when you're sitting around the camp, and just see how far you can sling it or try and hit targets and stuff like that. It's just for fun. It'd be funner if you had an air pistol or something, but I don't have one. And you can't bring firearms, real firearms, into the park. I'm bringing some binoculars, but they're not necessary. You'll probably find you'll never use them. This is actually a lantern. Also not necessary, but it is nice to have some. This just screws onto that same canister, butane, and gives off a lot of light. It's nice to have at night if you guys actually want to play some cards or something like that, or just hang out, have some light to walk around the camp. It's nice to have. I'm not even sure if I'll bring it yet. I think that's pretty much it, other than just a food list.
You
Yeah.
just send the list that we used in this video just in the group chat, and then say this video is more in detail.
Exactly. Yeah. Try not to laugh too hard, boys. Anyway. So, boys, I forgot to mention the footwear. So during the day, probably opt for something like this, water shoe, or some kind of sandals or flip-flops. Something you don't mind getting in and out of the boat with. You're gonna be stepping in the mud. You're gonna be stepping in water. You're gonna be walking through muddy trails and stuff like that. Yeah, so a shoe that you can wear during the day, a shoe or a sandal you can wear during the day, and then at night you can put your dry socks on and put some dry shoes on. You can put these in your bag, just pull them out at night when you feel like having dry feet. That's pretty much it.